Hey, Honors Bio. Hope you had a good hat day. I don't know what Thursday is yet. I think maybe the next time we see each other on Thursday, I'll have decided that. I think maybe dress up day. Not sure. Anyway, this is your last lesson and assignments before spring break. I don't know how you feel about spring break. I feel weird about it. Like, can't really do a bunch of things I'd like to do. I'm worried about you guys. Well, being bored, but also getting out of the routine that we're starting to settle into. I'm worried about me getting out of that routine and, wearing my pajamas until 2 p.m. Anyway, I hope it's good. I hope you find cool stuff to do. I will post a couple of fun things during spring break that aren't necessarily required, but that hopefully will make you laugh or help you learn something. All right, so first thing first, a little bit different. I'm going to stick a video in here for you to watch of me. It's another one that I took of myself in Costa Rica. This one very relevant to our evolution unit. And so let's see what you think. Hey there, bio people. Back in Costa Rica, and in class we've been talking about evolution and natural selection. So what I'd like to do is to look at my three favorite species of ants. So number one, down here in the leaf litter, we have the army ant. Look at this trail of army ants. What they do is basically move from place to place, never nesting for too long, and that column of army ants destroys anything in its path, okay? So there's one adaptation for a species of ant for you. Over here, we've got the leafcutter ant. What she's doing is carrying a piece of leaf down to an underground nest where she is going to farm fungus that grows on those leaves, and that's how leafcutter ants make their living, farming fungus. And finally, up here, we've got, oh my gosh, the bullet ant. Now the bullet ant, what she's got that sets her apart is some venom. Boy, when you get stung by a bullet ant, it's called a bullet ant because it feels like you've been shot. All right, so I'm going to keep my distance here. Hope you like that. As a neat trick I learned, actually, part of the class I was taking there was how to take video of yourself, and so I'll tell you a secret. I wasn't actually right there with all three species of ants. It's a trick called the A roll and the B roll. I can tell you about it later if you want. Anyway, quick review before we work those ants into our assignment. We went through the 3 domains and 6 kingdoms of life, starting with archaea over here, which are the oldest, the descendants of the oldest cells on Earth. Then the eubacteria, which are what we think of as true bacteria, which are single-celled, and some of them are autotrophic, and they have cell walls. Then eukarya, which is all the kingdoms you normally think of: protists, fungi, plants, and animals. And really, you just need to know the distinguishing characteristics of each. We didn't go into a lot of detail. What you need to know is that protists are the oddball kingdom. We classify them as animal-like, plant-like, and fungus-like. They're all over the map diversity-wise. There's not a whole lot of distinguishing characteristics, but know that we classify them that way, that they are animal-like, plant-like, and fungus-like. They just don't quite, make the grade as those kingdoms. Fungi, distinguishing characteristics are being heterotrophic, right? They're kind of like plants in that they can't move around, and they're multicellular. They have that cell wall. But they're not like plants, and they're more like animals in that they have to get food. Mostly they are decomposers in that way. And this includes mushrooms, molds, and yeasts. Plants, distinguished by being autotrophic, multicellular, and having those cell walls that make them non-motile. And, of course, chloroplasts, which make them autotrophic. And then finally, animals, which are heterotrophic. Got to get their own food. Multicellular. They can move around because they don't have cell walls. So that's our quick review. Our concept for the day, and to wrap up our classification chapter before we move into the Earth's history, is dichotomous keys. You may or may not know that dichotomous keys are basically kind of, if you're a scientist that studies bugs, you're a scientist that studies birds, you're a scientist that studies, shellfish, regardless of what it is, if you really want to pin down exactly what species you're looking at when you find something in the wild, a dichotomous key is the tool you use to do it. It is better than one of those, pictorial field guides that you see people using. It's more precise than that. What it is honestly, what it reminds me of is a choose your own adventure book. I don't know if you ever read those. I loved those when I was a kid, where you get to a certain point in the story and it says, like, to pick up the torch, turn to page 20. To hit the monster in the face, turn to page 30. And sometimes you'd have more than two options, but a dichotomous key always has two. And there's a just like one of those stories, it takes you somewhere else in the key depending on which thing you choose. These are generally better than field guides, and so that is what you're going to learn how to do today. First, you're going to do it with some sharks, and that's part of your homework. And then the other part of your homework is you're going to build your own dichotomous key using the three species of ants that I showed you in the video. And you're going to create an ant dichotomous key that you would use to identify those three ants. So first, let's look at the sharks. These are the sharks you'll have to identify. On your assignment, you'll have this page of sharks with numbers underneath them. Your job is to identify the sharks down to the family level. The key that you have, which is this, is a dichotomous key. You can see it's a series of two choices, numbered 1 through 13. And if you follow the directions and where you choose A or B for each one, rule number 1 is you always start at number 1. For each new shark, I might identify this shark right here and then get on to number 2, and I might be tempted to start somewhere in the middle where I can see where I know that's the tail that I think that guy has. That is a trap. Don't do that. Okay? Always start at number 1. You'll go wrong and get in the wrong place if you don't. So you start at number 1, you go where it tells you to go based on whether you choose A or B, and when you run into something that says family blah, 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 you win. That is what you would write down underneath the picture of the shark. Okay, so let's do the first one together. If you'll look with me at number 1, and we take it through this key. We start at number 1. Always, it says body kite-like in shape if viewed from the top, go to statement 12. Body not kite-like in shape if viewed from the top, go to statement 2. Now, if I look back, well, I think what they mean by a kite shape is diamond-shaped, and that is definitely a diamond shape. So I'm going to say yes. I'm going to go all the way down to statement 12 here, which says A, small dorsal fin present near tip of tail. That would be family Ragidae. B is no dorsal fin present near tip of tail. Well, I don't know what a dorsal fin is. So that's where you go to the part of this worksheet that actually tells you the parts of a shark. It labels all the fins, the gill slits, and what things look like. So to know if something is a dorsal fin, it looks to me like first dorsal fin, second dorsal fin. A dorsal fin is just one that is on sort of the top of the back, right? This is the top side or dorsal side. So that's what I'm looking for near the tip of the tail. Let's go back to this guy, and okay, tail goes all the way out to here. And this right here sure looks like a fin that's sticking up near the tip of that tail. So I'm going to say yes, it has that. And, ooh, okay, so that is where I would put family Ragidae. I win on that one. I write family, or I could just write Ragidae right there, and I'm on to number 2. And for number 2, I'm going to start at number 1 again, right? Always start at number 1. This time I'm not going to pick the body kite-like in shape. I'm going to pick the second one, which means I go on to statement 2, and I will let you take it from there. That is your first job, okay? First part of your assignment is to use that dichotomous key to correctly label all of these sharks. Part 2 of your assignment is to go back and look at that video of the Costa Rican ants again. The bullet ant, the army ant, and the leafcutter ant. Those 3 kinds of ants, it's a pretty good, clear video. I want you to get a good look at those, the body types of those ants. And maybe if you need to, do a little bit of internet research to get more close-ups of them. But then I want you to build your own dichotomous key. It'll be short, but it's got to be accurate. Your own series of choices between 2 options looking at one of those ants. So if I were to see one of those ants in the wild, I'd be able to use your key and know exactly what I was looking at. Okay? Please put that directly on the assignment with the sharks. Okay? So you want to identify all the sharks. And any other questions, I'm going to try and get rid of the other questions, but any other questions you see, you can ignore, except you need to build your own dichotomous key in order to identify the 3 types of ants. Okay, your other assignment, and I'm giving you all spring break to do it. is I'm going to post another podcast, the same podcast that's my favorite science podcast, Radio Lab. This one is actually a little different. It's performed live in front of an audience, and there is video of it, but I'm going to post the audio. It is about a serious kind of rethinking, reimagining, reinvestigating of the extinction of the dinosaurs, because we are moving into a chapter that goes through the Earth's ancient history. And so everybody knows the dinosaurs went extinct, and it had to do with a space object, but the way that actually went down is looking like it's much different than we used to think. So over the break, you need to listen to that podcast. Coming back Tuesday, expect some sort of assessment of your knowledge of that podcast. Okay? Good. I hope you have a fantastic spring break. I'm going to make both, this assignment itself, I guess, which is 2 assignments in one kind of, that whole thing is going to be due the Tuesday we come back from spring break. Okay? Have fun. Be safe. Don't get in trouble. Be nice to your family. And stay healthy. Okay?